Hello everyone. Today my name is Aiden. Today I'm gonna talk about book name Watership Down by Richard Adams. This book starts from Jesus the rabbit's hope and the Jesus little brother Fiber so dangerous future because Fiber can see the futures. So Jesus and Fiber and other rabbits run away from that hole and find other not dangerous place to live. And they found they had go many place and when there's dangerous when it's dangerous, Fiber see future so they can go there more safely and Fiber leads other Fiber Hazel leads other rabbits and then they found watership top watership top the hill and then they fought with others to get there and then they win because Fiber can see futures so they can have good plans so they win them and my favorite character in this book is Fiber because he can see the futures so this story starts and other rabbits can be safety and get protected. And my second favorite character in this book is Fiber because he leads the other rabbits so they can find a way. And I recommend this book to Kevin, Dennis, because they like adventure stories and they like cute rabbits. Yeah, and then I don't recommend this book to Junior because he don't like rabbits and then he don't like long books. I rate this book 10 out of 10 because I like adventure books and I like rabbits. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Hael and I'm going to present a book named The Maze Runner. The author of the book is James Dasher and the main character of the book is Thomas. The story starts by when Thomas wakes up in the lift and he can't remember anything except for his name. And when he woke up, he was surrounded by some boys that lost their memories too. Outside the tower, when the stone wall opens, they can see a maze and there are runners that they go outside and find supplies to be alive. And one day a girl arrives to the place where the boys are and she says something terrifying, and yes, uh, okay, I'm done.
Hello everyone, my name is Sarah, and today I'm going to talk about the book I read named The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill. Kelly Barnhill, the author of The Girl Who Drank the Moon, was born on December 7, 1973, in Minnesota and currently lives there with her husband and 3 children. She is the best-selling author, teacher, and mother who writes other novels, short stories, and novellas, and her work has earned numerous accolades, including the Newbery Medal Award and the World Fantasy Award. Right now, she is suffering from a syndrome that slows her writing process. So, she published a book recently about her daily life, and she has stated that sadly it might be her last book. But still, people all over the world encourage her to write and to fulfill her dream of writing. Um, Now I'm going to talk about the summary of The Girl Who Drank the Moon. In the Procreator, the people believe that they must sacrifice a baby every year from a terrifying witch in the forest. What they do not know is that a real witch, Zan, is actually very kind and she rescues the abandoned babies from the forest. She loves going on those trips and she is actually confused why these people are sacrificing these babies. And she usually feeds the babies she rescues Starlight because so that they can enhance and they can grow gracefully. And there are rumors about these kids are magical. On one trip, she accidentally feeds a baby girl Moonlight instead of Starlight. This fills the child with powerful magic. So Zan decides to raise her as her own and names her Luna because if anyone else raises her, it can cause a magic unleash and can cause harm to the entire world. And at the same time, like after 7 years, a young man named Anatane, troubled by the cruelty of the sacrifice ritual, leaves the council and vows to stop it. He eventually ventures into the forest to confront the witch and end the tradition for good. But what he doesn't know is that the witch, Zan, was actually helping the children to have better lives and not getting eaten by other witches. He has hatred inside his heart, and also he decides to back up the his community and to end killing babies for good. When Luna nears her 13th birthday, her magic breaks open like a seed growing into a plant, and she starts learning the truth about the plant, about her past. She eventually has she eventually has visions when she sleeps. And she also finds out that Zan, her loving grandmother, was actually keeping secrets from her and what truly happened between the procreator and the forest. Meanwhile, the mad woman escapes her prison, determined to save her daughter, and she believes is still alive. And the mad woman is actually Luna's mother, who is struck by grief, and now everyone is calling her a mad woman. Everything converges when Luna, Zan, and Anakin and the Mad Woman and a corrupted magical being called the Sorrow Eater collide. The Sorrow Eater, revealed to be a powerfully hunger elder, has been manipulating procreators for years, feeding on people's sadness. In the climax, Luna discovers full strength of her magic and confronts the Sorrow Eaters, breaking her hold of the procreator. Families are reunited and lies behind the sacrifices are exposed and people are finally freed from fear. In the end, Luna embraces her magic and her new large family, her community plus Zan and her pet dragon and Anakin. Hope replaces sorrow and the procreator begins to heal, and at the end, Anakin says to Luna that she is the most prettiest girl he had ever seen and that he hopes that he can have a wife like Luna. And maybe in the next book they will have a romantic story. But anyway, the most memorable part in this book was when Grandma Zan feeds Luna the moonlight, because if she hadn't feed Luna the moonlight, then when Anakin was getting a revolt against Zan, nobody would have helped her and she would have been all alone. And also, many of the things wouldn't have happened because Anakin wouldn't have found a girl who um, like inside him, not the outside him, because everyone thought he was ugly, but Luna was only one who saw his real heart. And also, the mad woman, aka her lost mom, wouldn't have recovered from grief, and the mad woman would have still been in the cell if it wasn't for Luna and her encouraging mind. My favorite characters are Luna and Zan because, first of all, Luna is selfless. She wanted to protect her family from the procreators and the elders and her own community. And she did not have a mental breakdown, unlike most of the girls of her age, when she found out that Zan wasn't her real grandmother, they were not blood related, and that her own mother is in a cell suffering from grief. So I like to say that she has a strong mind. And Zan, I think she's also a very good character because when everyone thought that she was actually a bad person and that she eats the children, she was actually like helping them and helping them to have a better life and like giving them to families who would really accept them, and also giving the children a blessing of her own, which is called Starlight. And my favorite quote in this book is that sometimes a story can be real and sometimes a story can be false, because Luna says this to herself when she uncovers the truth that her grandma is actually lying to her. So at first she was really mad at her grandma, but eventually she finds out that her grandma was actually lying, and also that she was just protecting her. And the saddest part was when Zan actually goes away because her magic like dissolves, because Luna was accidentally taking Zan's magic. So Zan died at the age of 511. So it was very sad because Luna didn't really have another family, but the mad woman, who now became a normal woman, took care of her, and Anakin developed a strong connection to Luna. And I would recommend this book to Kevin and all the girls and Dennis because they like fantasy books, and Aiden too, because he read The Girl Who Drank the Moon, and he told me to read this book because he likes fantasy novels. So he thought that I would like it too because I like Harry Potter. And anyways, I think that Jingyu and Alex wouldn't like this book because they hate fantasy books and they desperately hate Harry Potter, and also they only like books that talk about war and anime, so I'll not recommend the books to them. Thank you.
Um, Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about book named Starfish by Lisa Phipps. This is the short short story about like a girl named Ellie who is having a hard time with her problem with her waist. In her school, she gets bullied by girls named Marisa and Courtney because she's fat, and she gets bullied in her family also by her brother Liam hates her and writes a school journal about hatred of her sister. And also her mothers always make Ellie to weigh herself every day, every morning, and she searched for the children weight loss surgery also. And but Ellie's father doesn't care about her fat and just loves her. And the stories goes like dad and Ellie's mother fight for mother says she should go to gym and father says she should go to therapist, and it was the last time to try therapist. And in first semester in new semesters, Ellie started to go a therapist named Dr. And Ellie learns how to protect herself and love herself because she used to write the short note about like fat girl rules, and she wrote about like you should be small, you should be shame on you, like write the bad words to herself in the note and made herself more. By a therapist's help, she started to protect herself by for a short event she went to short family trip, but she got again other people started to laugh at her, and one unknown girl take a photo of Ellie and started to make fun of her, and Ellie was really angry and she almost hit her, but she like pressed herself and just started to love her from that day. And for the last event, Ellie's pet named Gigi was kidnapped by a bully Marisa and Corty. So it was the final fight. Ellie and Corty and Marisa started to fight, like throwing the cupcakes, and others came and started to help. And at last, Ellie learned how to love herself. I will rate this book 10 out of 10 because it was so I could feel empathy very well, and I want to recommend this book to Dennis and Lisa because for Dennis, he already read this book, but I want him to read one more time. And for Lisa, the author's name is Lisa, so I want her to read. Thank you.
Hello. I'm Daniel.
You're Daniel.
I will present about book Deep Blue, and author is one who I cannot remember. Genre of book is fiction and fantasy and mystery, I think. Setting is main character is Princess of Kingdom, and Queen gets killed by assassin. And main character tried to find other kingdoms princess to unite and against assassins. Worse than the assassin. Which is would most enjoy this
What?
book? Why do you believe so?
You're not supposed to read that.
I think Jason and Yuan will like it because they like fantasy.
give us summary.
I gave you summary.
Okay.
Main character tried to find the other kingdom's princess.
What's main character's name?
I don't remember. I write a book report and I forgot.
Did you use it?
No, I don't use ChatGPT like you.
I don't write it.
Better to do
Yeah, keep on going.
This is going on to YouTube. My school's reputation is
Yeah, guys, be quiet.
Why do you believe so? I think someone who like love story and don't like fantasy will don't like this book. Such as someone in the world
He said some in the world.
Okay.
or one of my classmates.
Such as.
I don't know.
He said me.
No, someone who likes this book.
What?
And I think here don't have this information over science.
Hello, my name is Haran and I will talk about the book My Family and Other Animals. This book is autobiographical book which talks about the author's real life experience. So he talks about his childhood in the story. And it shows the wonder and about natural world, and it is adventurous and talks about very animal things. And for the setting is the island of Corfu. And now I'll talk about the summary. The main character Gary and his family decided to move to the island of Corfu from England. And in that island, Gary and his family adventures with animals and meet many animals and experience many things about nature. And there is 2 events, and one is about crab, and another one is about the snake. But you can know that when you read the book. My favorite character is the main character Gary because he has very curiosity and wonders of many natural worlds. I want to recommend this book to Jaebon because she likes animals and cares about them. And I don't want to recommend this book to people who doesn't like animals or adventurous stories. Thank you.
Good morning, guys. So it's a snowy day. I'm going to share you a book called 2001: Space Odyssey. like tell you about this book. I'm just here to buy time. I'm not going to give you a brief summary. So it's by Arthur C. Clarke. This guy has a tone of like slow, calm thing. This book is like basically so boring, but it's actually a useful book. The genre is science fiction, which I don't like it. And the main character is, I think it's Dave. Dave. And this story is like Earth has like lots of droughts, according to what I read. But it's not sure. But there was like moon watcher guy, like Ugu Gaba, the like an ape but gorilla person. So I think the moon watcher was like, and there was like a big like a black rectangle thingy on the.
Can you draw it?
Like, I can't draw that, but it's like like that. And then it's like moon watcher is just watching that. Do you know what happened next? Read the book.
Wow.
And then no, it's not the end. So there's a guy named Dave. I think he travels across the space. Do you know why? Read the book.
Wow.
And then he rides like a spaceship called Hell 9000. HAL, not HELL. Ooh. So when he's traveling around, Dave is trying to turn off the Hell 9000. Do you know why? Read the book.
Wow.
And the robot, the Hell 9000, knows it. And do you know what he says? And then he tries to open the door. And Hell 9000 says, "I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid that can't happen." Now Dave's cooked. He's in the space. He can't go inside the spaceship. That's so tragic. Do you know what happened at the end? I'm not gonna spoil. Read the book. So,
you don't know.
So I think my favorite character is Hell 9000. Do you know why? He makes conflicts, but he's not evil. He's actually a good guy, I think. Yeah. And I don't know, what happened to Dave. Read the book. I think Daniel will like this book because it's about science stuff, and I don't really like it. But I think Yu-Chen will hate it. Because, no, I'm not trying to diss someone. I'm not trying to like hate someone. I mean, I think Yu-Chen will hate this. It's like you need to have like
Good heart.
Yeah, good heart to read this. You have, like, so I'm not asking you for a day. I'm not asking you for a week. Just you need a year to read this for me. And then and then this book is really good, for me, but the story itself is really good. My favorite line, I told you it was, "I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that." This is actually a really famous quote. You know that? It's a robot said this famous quote. It was published in, let me see. Whatever, I'll tell you later if I can. So, yeah, it's by Arthur C. Clarke. This has a movie. I tried to watch it, but it was boring, so I didn't. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Hannah. My book title is Mercy, and the authorities the setting is your side because the main character went to yours. The main character name is Lev. The summary of the book is Lev is really fun because his mother left him alone when he was little. He worked in ship and he had hard time, so he tried to tie, but wood car saved him. Wood car
is raising when he was young, and he was his dad. Old core left and little core went to live together, but there was pig disease and they could be died. So old core said to leave to go north because there was no business in there. And Liv and little core went to north, but they got disease and little core died. So only Liv can survive, and even he lived alone, then he adapted in environment. He went to explore like nature. There was a ship, and he didn't want to live in ship again. So he decided to go east. I want to recommend this book to Liv because I think she liked the story of the book, but she could feel sad because many people in the story hate her parents. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jason. Today I'm going to present about 2001 Space Odyssey. The author name is C. Clark. The genre of this book is little fantasy. Setting is space and community. Now I'm going to talk about the summary of this book. There is monolith called monolith is device that and the monolith appeared in front of humans very long time ago, and after monolith came, the monolith promoted humans' evolution. So after monolith came, human did first evolution in this book. And after that, in future, human traveled to moon, and they found other monoliths. And monoliths did signal to Saturn, so people realized that there is other creature in the other space. So they travel other planet. There is astronomy and scientists and artificial intelligence computer called HEAN. So when they're doing travel, they change their mission. So HAL got confused, so they try to eliminate people in planet. So the other person turned off this artificial intelligence computer, and the astronomy left alone. They follow the monoliths and the human evolve other shape of human. I will recommend this book to Sore because this book has good storyline and scientific story. So I think Sore like this book. Thank you for listening.
Hello, I am Jonghyuk from G10, and I'm gonna talk about talk about The Old Man and the Sea. So, written by Hemingway in 1952, and Hemingway is like, as you know, the very famous author. And then the basic plot is there is protagonist, the old man, and then the young boy who is the Manulan. So Manulan, the young boy already support the old man, but the old man don't let him go to the sea. So the old man go to the sea alone, and then there is like fight against the fish, and then after he won, he come back to the home, but during he back to the home, there's like another like fight against some sharks, and finally he came back to the home, and then Manolan like yeah it is. So my favorite character is obviously the old man because he's like very. I just wanna respect him because he like fight against some like big fish. If I was him, I don't think I can do it. So thank you for listening.
Hello, my name is Erwin and my grade is G10, and today I talk about the Out of Dust and authored by Hassan Karen. And in the explain about the plot, main character of Village and has his father and mom, but and they are live in Osaka, and and this place has some dust storm. That is dust storm is the not a hate for their families, and one day villagers making breakfast and her father live part of crosser like the oil, and next to the next but he placed the next to the stove, and then goes into the field. Father goes to the field, and mother said setting on fire while trying to make coffee and cookies, and her mother doesn't know that is like the oil, and she runs out to the field in search of her father, and this time mother is get off fire, and his her body is born, and after this event, her mother is get a huge burn, and finally her die, and that is a finish.
Hello, my name is Jiten Ianjun, and today I want to talk about 1984. So, this book is written by George Orwell. Like as you know, like he wrote Animal Farm too, and this book is published at 1949. And this genre of like this book is dystopia novel. And okay, so the main character is like Winston Smith, and he lives in the country called Oceania, and the party control this like country, and Winston Smith like tries to reveal the truth. So he started to write diary, like but the country like said don't write diary, but he wrote it, and he met Julia and he fell in love with her. So Julia was like really she wanted to find freedom, so they both tried to escape from the country, but they arrested by police. So they went to room 101 and get like re-educated. Then Winston Smith got re-educated and he like totally changed his mind and he started to love Big Brother too. So the after I read this book and I started to think about martial law again, because martial law is that the past president like tries to took our freedom, right? And I had a conversation about this yesterday, and I wish somebody could change his mind. And I would like to recommend this book to Chongyeo because I think freedom is very important to every people. Yes, thank you.
Hi, my name is Lisa Park, and I'm actually here to talk about two books because they're actually surprisingly quite related to each other. One is A Brave New World, written by Aldous Huxley, who is a writer and philosopher. He's a philosopher. And the other is a play written by William Shakespeare called The Tempest. So for A Brave New World, the title itself is actually an allusion to The Tempest because the phrase Brave New World actually comes from a quote in The Tempest. And the basic setting of Brave New World is about like a quote unquote perfect society where humans are lab grown and they're like genetically modified to be specifically suited for certain jobs. And so the only way they can really feel happiness is through drugs called soma. But here there's a main character called John who is an outsider of like the society, and his parents were basically exiled, and like the only literature he knows is Shakespeare, so he like references it all the time to express his emotions. So I think that's quite similar to The Tempest because that's also a story about exile, and although it's more magical, it ends like with forgiveness, and hopefully Brave New World ends like that as well. But there's a quote from A Brave New World which like John says in like critique to like the perfect society that offers like comfort. He says, I don't want comfort, I want God, I want poetry, I want real danger, I want freedom, I want goodness, I want sin. So it's kind of, I feel like after reading that, it reminded me like of this topic of like The Giver, because The Giver is also about a society who like blocks off everything, even like pleasure, for like comfort and safety, and that's how like they lose all the colors. So I guess that's a similar theme in dystopian novels. So thank you.
Hi, my name is Paula, and I'm going to introduce a book called 1984 by George Orwell. So this book is about Winston Smith, who is a government worker in Oceania, and Oceania is a totalitarian state ruled by the party, and also there is a symbolic figure named Big Brother. So we don't know if he's an actual human existing, but he's a figure that is told to rule Oceania. And so Julia and Winston Smith tries to rebel, towards the party because they value freedom and privacy and personal space and love and etc. etc. But then they're soon caught by the thought police, and Winston Smith is brought to the room 101, and his mindset is totally changed because he's mentally and physically abused, and he eventually betrays Julia with the rebellion and stuff like that. And my favorite character used to be Julia and Winston Smith because of their values and stuff, but then towards the end of the story, where Winston is changed, I didn't like Winston anymore because he became part of the party. So now Julia is my only favorite character. And a significant line that represents the main theme is Big Brother is watching you, because this implies to the invasion of privacy and control of the party towards the people. Yeah, that's all I want to share. Thank you.
I'm Lindsay from G10, and the book I read this week was The Alchemist, and it's a novel by Paulo Coelho, and it's a philosophical adventure story about like finding your purpose in life. So for a summary, basically there's this shepherd whose name is Santiago, and he's from Spain, and he keeps having this same dream about treasure hidden near the Egyptian pyramids, and he meets this old man named Melchizedek, who tells him that the dream is like part of his personal legend, which basically means it's like his destiny. And so Santiago like sells all of his sheep, and he begins his journey like to the pyramids. And during the journey he faces many obstacles, but those obstacles like help him to grow. And he eventually meets the alchemist, who's like a person who can turn metal into gold, and the alchemist becomes his like personal guide. So he teaches him like spiritual lessons about courage and belief. And Santiago reaches the pyramids, but there's a twist that the treasure was actually hidden in Spain. But even though the treasure was home, like the journey itself led to his Santiago's personal growth. So like the journey, it wasn't like useless, and it was worth it. And so two like themes that I wanted to talk about was courage and self-discovery, because for courage, this book like teaches that sometimes to achieve like your dreams or what you want, you have to be able to take risks and step out of your comfort zone. And even though like the risk might not always be successful, it will like lead to growth. So, and for self-discovery, Santiago learns that treasure is not just gold, but it was the person that he became during the journey. So this book it teaches like lessons about like overall it teaches lessons about taking risks, chasing after your dreams, and believing in yourself. So I would recommend this book to anyone who like feels uncertain about their goals. And, yeah.
Hello, my name is Colin, and I'll be presenting a book called Animal Farm, written by George Orwell. To give some context, George Orwell was a part of the Russian Revolution, or at least he was a bystander of it. He worked as a law enforcement officer until he saw the revolution happen, and thus that was how he got inspiration for his book. This book is a portrayal of how revolutions work and how they might terrorize a country. For example, all the animals are actually in a barn. They are all sort of just cattle for the humans, except for the fact that they wanted a revolution. They wanted to stop working and they wanted to start eating whatever they wanted. And the premise of this book is to show that, first of all, violence. Actually, no. The book is trying to show the flaws of not only communism but also a monarchy, because the famous quote in the book is, quote unquote, some animals are equal, but some are more equal than others, which just shows the unjustified inequality between those of the high ranking and those of the low ranking, and how communism slash the Russian Revolution has failed to identify that. And this book does a wonderful job at doing that, because not only are all of the characters only animals, but it also shows that they all have their own differences, and that just makes the inequality so much higher. And if I were to recommend this book to someone, I think it would be Jong-hyuk, because he is very politically involved, and I feel like he could have a change of mind on some parts of his ideology. And my favorite character is definitely Boxer, maybe, because he was the part, I guess he was the bravery, and he was the brave animal that led through all of the chaos, such as the Battle of the Cowshed. Anyways, I would like to conclude my book report. Thank you.
I read City of Thieves by David Ben-Yop. The genre is historical fiction adventure. The setting is in Leningrad, Russia during World War II, during the siege of Leningrad in the 1940s. Lev and Kolya are the two young men on a life-threatening quest to fulfill their mission and escape from wartime Leningrad. Their journey is filled with trials and tribulations as they encounter different people, endure hardships, and grow as they navigate the destroyed city of Leningrad. Included in the key events and experiences throughout the book are their interaction with the soldiers and civilians and their adventure to gather eggs for the Russian army. So a classmate who would most likely to enjoy this book may prefer learning and experiencing during tragedy such as war or during hard times, and also a classmate who would least likely to enjoy this book may prefer only fun and bright stories that may not capture full details in tragedy.
Hello. The book I chose to present is The Scarlet Letter. And Hepburn was a major American novelist who often wrote about moral struggle and the conflict between individual desire and society, and script society. The Scarlet Letter, published in 1850, probably his most famous novel and is studied in school all over the world. The novel is historical fiction, but it also part romance, part historical drama. It focuses deeply on emotion, especially guilt, shame, and forgiveness. So even though it takes place long ago, this issue is the story still very relatable today. The story is set in hot tempo during the a time when religion controlled almost everything. People were expected to behave perfectly, and if they made a mistake, a community punished them. The strictness of this setting is important because it explains why the publishment is the book is so harsh and why the character feels so pastoral. The novel centers on Hester Prime, a woman who has a baby without a husband because she committed adultery. The town focus forced her to wear a large red A on her chest, the scarlet letter. This letter is meant to shame her and remind everyone, everything. Even though she becomes an outsider, Hester remains clean, strong, and caring. Raising her daughter, her with love. Her is curious, energetic, and often behave in a way that make the townspeople uncomfortable, almost as if she represents her with free spirit. Two other major characters are weavers, author Day and Robert. Day is a respect minister who appears calm on the outside but is carrying a deep emotional burden that slowly destroys him. Who is actually Hester's husband, arrived in Boston unexpectedly and become upset with discovering the man connected who Hester seen. A memorable moment is the book occur when history focused to stand on the town, holding baby for while the entire community stayed at her. These scenes clearly show how judgmental and unforgiving the society is. The scarlet letter itself become a symbol that changes meaning throughout the story. As time passes, it becomes less a symbol of shame and more a sense of Hester's strength and resilience. Without spoiling the ending, I can say that each character eventually face the consequence of their choice in an emotional and dramatic way. And I recommend to Jaden. Okay, because this story I enjoy emotional and symbolic stories really like, and okay, yeah.
I read The Miserable Man by H.G. Wells. So the book is about a strange man, a raccoon, being
fully replicable clothing which she does not take off even after this falls rewards him and then he's a fire. So this is the science fiction novel by H.G. Wells originally. So this book is about a little man who is referred to as Griffin, scientists who made a way to technically turn himself invisible. So he covers his body with, he wears a black brim hat and long sleeve thick coat and glove, so he covers his body up because the most memorable moment is when Griffin reveals to Dr. Kemp how he discovered the process of becoming invisible. And the favorite character is Dr. Kemp, because even though he realized that Griffin, the invisible man, even though he tried to intimidate him, Kemp stays focused on doing the right thing.
Okay, good job.
Hello, my name is Jaden, and today is December 5th, Friday. Okay, I'm gonna talk about a book called Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne. So, today I'm gonna talk about written by Nathaniel Hawthorne, and so let's begin. Talk about author. Hawthorne was an important American author who often wrote about guilty, morality, and the way society judges people. And The Scarlet Letter was published in 1850, and this is one of his most famous works and is considered as a classic of American literature. So, The Scarlet Letter genre is historical fiction, but it has also elements of romance, drama, and psychological exploration. Even though it takes place in early colonial America, it deals with themes that feel modern, like judgment, identity, and how people try to rebuild their lives after making mistakes. So, the story set in 17th century Puritan Boston. This time period is important because Puritans had extremely strict religious rules. They believed that everyone needed to behave perfectly, and if someone broke a rule, the whole community would punish them. The setting creates a very tense and harsh atmosphere which influences every decision the character make. So the summary of the book, the main character of the novel is Hester Prynne, a woman who has committed adultery. As a punishment, the authorities force her to wear a bright red letter A on her chest for the rest of her life. This scarlet letter makes her as a sinner, and she becomes an outcast in her own town. However, instead of running away or breaking down, Hester stays strong. She raises her daughter Pearl, who is a very spirited and unusual child. Pearl constantly reminds both Hester and the community of the sin they want to forget, which makes her a symbol throughout the story. Another important character is Reverend Arthur Dimmesdale, a respected minister who is dealing with a heavy secret that causes him instant guilt. He is admired by people of Boston, but on the inside, he struggles emotionally and physically. The third key character is Roger Chillingworth, Hester's long-lost husband, who arrives unexpectedly and becomes obsessed with discovering the truth behind Hester's sin. As the story unfolds, these three characters become trapped in a difficult cycle of guilt, revenge, and emotional conflict. One memorable moment is that when Hester first stands on the scaffold in front of the entire town, holding baby Pearl while the crowd stares at her. This scene shows how society can be cruel, and it sets the tone for the rest of the book. Throughout the novel, Thorne uses strong symbols, especially the scarlet letter itself, to show how guilt and judgment affect each character differently. I won't spoil the ending, but the final scenes show how each character's choices eventually catch up with them. I think Ben, William, and Eugene, and Nayeon, and Steve will enjoy because this story is very deep and thoughtful. If you're someone who likes reading about characters dealing with emotions, you would enjoy them. And on the other hand, I think Leo, Andrew would not enjoy it because it's too long. Thank you.
Hello, today I'm going to talk about The Scarlet Letter by Commissioner Hoff. This novel set in a straight Puritan community in the 1600s explores themes of sin, punishment, judgment, and personal strength. Even though it takes place hundreds of years ago, many of the ideas still feel relevant today, which is why I choose this book for my presentation. The story follows Hester Prynne, a woman who is forced to wear a scarlet letter A on her chest as punishment for her sin. Instead of running away or breaking down, Hester chooses to live with dignity. What makes her interesting is not the mistake she made, but how she handles the consequences. She works hard, raises her daughter Pearl, and refuses to let society completely define who she is. One of the most meaningful themes in the book is how society judges people without knowing their full story. The scarlet letter is supposed to shame Hester, but ironically it makes her stronger and more independent. It shows that identity isn't
built on public opinion, it's shaped by personal choices and inner character. This theme is universal because everyone experiences judgment at some point in their lives. One moment that stood out to me is when Esther helps people in the community even though many of them judged her harshly. This scene shows her compassion and resilience. It also reveals an important message. Kindness can exist even in the middle of punishment and shame. This moment makes the reader rethink whether the society around Esther is truly moral or if she is the one who actually shows moral strength. So reading this book made me think about how people often define others too quickly. Esther's story reminded me that one mistake does not represent a whole person. What matters more is how someone grows afterward. I also learned that sometimes the people who are judged the most harshly are the ones who have the most courage. So in conclusion, The Scarlet Letter is not just a story about punishment, it's a story about strength, identity, and the courage to stand alone. Esther's journey shows that dignity can survive even in harsh conditions, and I would recommend this book to anyone who likes stories that explores deep emotional and moral questions. Thank you.